All right, well, hello and good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Bobby Haggard, and I'm one of the consultants here at TrinSoft. On our call today, we will be discussing Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, and we'll plan to cover a few highlights of the October Wave 2 release. Now, a few housekeeping notes before we get started here. First, we have muted all of our phone lines, the phone lines here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A feature within the webinar tool, and we'll be sure to try and get those answered for you. Again, I'm just going to be hitting some of the highlights here of the release. There is many new features and enhancements to the solution. I'll be sharing a link here at the end with all of the various enhancements and features outlined. If you're interested in the presentation slides, just send us a quick email. We'll be sure to get that to you. We'll be sure to get those sent your way so that you can see that link as well. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A feature. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in with a quick recap of the Business Central 2020 Wave 2 release. So first, why Business Central? Let's quickly hit on and remember a few of the key features that initially drew our companies to Business Central. First, it's a recognized leader within the industry. This is a Microsoft solution. It's not an off-the-shelf mom and pop product that could be here today and gone tomorrow. This is Microsoft, one of the industry leaders within the technology and IT space. Secondly, there's a rich partner network and ecosystem of third-party solutions that can extend the native software. So you can have your base Business Central solution and then extend it in multiple ways through development, through third-party solutions and add-ons, and much more. In addition, there's a 99.9% uptime guarantee, which is one of the highest that you see out there within the industry. Followed by that, the product is in the cloud and it's housed on the trusted Microsoft cloud with the latest in security and data protection. And then finally, the ease of deployment, onboarding, scalability, etc. Of Business Central have really set this solution apart. So as most of you are aware, Business Central is a complete business management application and is designed and optimized for the small and medium-sized businesses. Business Central is structured in to streamline your processes, which allow you to make smarter decisions, which should then drive growth and profitability. As we've mentioned before, Business Central was built to digitally transform organizations by helping them to solve issues around disconnected and outdated systems, reporting related problems, and much more. Business Central can easily and seamlessly connect your people and processes like never before. Business Central will allow you to make better decisions every day by allowing you to have an end-to-end view of business with out-of-the-box dashboards designed to help each role that give users exactly what they want to see, from flexible KPIs, easily tailored to their specific needs. All right, so now that we have had a quick refresh on what Business Central is, let's jump into some of the highlights here and key features within the October Wave 2 release. Now, in this October release, there's over 70 enhancements or improvements that come from top customer requests, come from partners, and a lot come from the Microsoft Ideas site, meaning that a lot of these upgrades are suggested by users and have been implemented to make the user's life easier. Microsoft has broken this October release down into 8 main areas. Some are targeted specifically for the users, others are for partners, and again, others are for third-party tools and migration. So let's quickly hit on what these areas are. First is seamless service. So this is all around performance, reliability, supportability are essential to Business Central, and they remain some of the key pillars of Business Central as they continues to grow. Next up is productivity. This release continues Microsoft's commitment towards world-class productivity with enhancements to the modern client and requested features such as returning to the request page, previewing a report, and ability to change assigned printers before printing reports. So some of these key changes around productivity that will help the end user. There's also an addition around Microsoft's Power Platform integration. So this release includes further investments in our integration capabilities with Microsoft's Power Platform. Microsoft is investing in both the existing connectors as well as enabling new virtual entities as well. The next key area is around the modern development tool. So this area is primarily for partners such as TrinSoft, whose clients have some in-house development. So Microsoft has made the entirely move to Visual Studio Code, and they continue to invest in areas here to enhance productivity for developers, whether in-house or on your partner side. Next up, there is better Office 365 connectivity. So Microsoft has enabled integration with Microsoft Teams to help you collaborate better and quicker and allow you to make quicker decisions by accessing the business data right within Teams, which is a really nice tool. There's also some geographic expansion. I don't know how applicable it is to some of our partners here locally within Kentucky, Cincinnati, Louisville area, but with this wave 2, there's additional foundation and onboarding for more countries and regions. So there's onboarding for Brazil, Ireland, Lithuania, and a couple others. So if that's some areas that your business is growing, that's great. Business Central can grow with you in those areas. Next up, customer requested enhancements. So Business Central continues to focus on responding to these top customer enhancement requests. In addition, there's multiple features harvested from the products ideas portal that I mentioned previously. And then finally, next up is the customer migration tool. So to simplify the journey from existing Dynamics customers, such as SL, Great Plains, or even NAV on-premise, to Business Central Online, there's been support added for migration to a broader tool set and broader ability to bring in vendors, customers, chart of account, that type of setup information. So together with these enhancements and designed to drive further service growth by empowering the migration of Dynamics on-premise, it allows partners to bring their customers onto this D365 platform. So all of this comes with improved service quality, supportability, and end user productivity, and then an overall improved experience for customers and partners. So now, there's no way in a 30-minute webinar I could hit on all 70 of these enhancements or changes that have been released. So I've tried to do is just to highlight or call out kind of a top 10 plus maybe one or two. They'll really help you, the end user, be more efficient and help you to navigate easier within the system. So again, at the end of the presentation, I'm going to have a link that's going to go over all 70 plus of these enhancements and changes, which we'll be happy to share with you. So if you do want a copy of the presentation, just drop us an email or drop your email in the Q&A and we'll get that sent your way. So let's jump right in here with some of these top enhancements. First up, some exciting news around Business Central being integrated within Microsoft Teams, as I'd mentioned. With Business Central and Microsoft Teams, users can make decisions faster as a team by bringing business data into Microsoft Teams. So whether you're in conversation with coworkers, preparing for cross-department financial budgets, or bringing roles together, it's important for an important project. Business Central Apps for Teams streamlines conversations and allows you to act on Business Central data without even leaving Teams. So the app provides two distinct related features that help streamline conversations and empower users to act on their business data without leaving Teams. So here you can see a user can paste a link to any Business Central record into the Teams chat, and it will expand the compact card to share with your coworkers. The other option within Teams, you can view full card details in Windows inside of Teams. So this includes fact boxes, embedded content such as charts, edit fields like we see here, workflows, etc. So really nice to be able to get that integrated within Teams. Next up is the Microsoft has updated the navigation experience terminology to improve usability. So Microsoft has found that clear and precise naming of features and functions is important for anyone. So customers have told Microsoft that the experience and terminology related to navigation in this product would benefit some other people. So, all right, so what Microsoft has done here is they have, like I said, updated some of the terminology to make it a little clearer and help improve some of this experience. So Microsoft improved the usability and service by providing some changes to their navigation menu, their action bar, to help some of the customers' expectation here. So specifically, some of the changes that they did, they added some non-promoted groups such to the action bar, and they renamed it to related, as we see there on the image on the left. so you can have related invoices and some of the details around that. There's also now the group called report has been renamed to reports to indicate that there's more than just one report there. And then there's actions that was previously called navigate is now called find. So if you're looking there at the image on the right, it's now called find entries. And you can also, it's gained a keyboard shortcut with using Control Shift I. It'll help you to find what you're looking for. All right, another new feature, track packages from types of sales documents is an exciting new feature that's been announced. So most shipping agents like FedEx, UPS, DHL, etc., provide an online service that you can use to track the status of your package while they're en route. So knowing where that package is can be vital for many business processes, such as when you provide customer service. And this means that it's important to be able to quickly get tracking information. So to provide a broader and thereby faster access to package tracking information, your shipping agent and the packing tracking information is now available within the sales document. So in addition to the posted sales shipment page, the tracking feature is also available on the posted sales invoice, posted sales credit memo, and posted receipt pages. So a nice feature there. The next feature is really nice and it's been needed for some time, in my opinion, and that's the ability to check financial journals in the background prior to posting. So Microsoft has introduced validations that can now help prevent some of these issues with posting before it even happens. So there's an early visual indicator that helps you to alert the user that there's an issue. So within the General Journal batch page, you can go to background error check, and Business Central will validate your financial journal to let you know, or a general journal or a payment journal to let you know if there's a validation or an error prior to posting. When this validation is enabled, the journal checked fact box will display, as we'll see in the bottom image, and it'll display next to the journal lines and show you where the current line and what the issue may be. So a really nice solution that's come out there. All right, with this new release, users can now write longer item references. Microsoft recognized that the ability to quickly understand what is being purchased from vendors or sold to customers is a key feature, and being able to do that fast and productive supply chain. So when vendors and customers use their own item numbering, being able to send sales and purchase orders that use that item number helps facilitate those quicker processes. So within Business Central, you can now set up an item reference between your item description and the description that your customer or vendor uses. So when you create a sales or purchase document, you can fill that item reference number filled in, and it will automatically include your item, what your customer or vendor calls that item description as well. And that length has now been lengthened as well, which is really nice. All right, another nice feature that's been long overdue is the ability for users to use and copy journal functions of posted general journals. The other nice thing is that you can also now control the date of when the reversing entry on a recurring journal is done. So when you're working with a large journal, it's important to have an easy way to correct mistakes. So this copy journal function helps your accountant to be more productive when correcting those mistakes. Also, when you're posting accruals at the end of the period, it's important to be able to have control over when that reversal entry is done without much of a hassle. So there's now a reversal date calculation, which helps your accountant to be more in control when they're handling those accruals for those recurring journal entries. So as you can see here, there is a, if you choose copy to posted journal lines in the general journal template, you can enable copying of journals for posted journals. You can also enable or disable copy and posted journal lines on a specific batch if you needed to. As well, on the posted general journals page, you can use the copy selected lines to journal function to create a copy of that general journal line or a batch with the opposite signs for reversing entry. So the different posting date or document number, you can enter that as well. And then finally, on the recurring journal batch, there is a reverse date calculation column now that's there in the middle where you see it says CM plus 1D. That now gives you ability to control when that entry is reversed. So this reverse date calculation will need to be added. It's not shown. You would have to go to your personalizations and have that column added specifically. All right, Wave 2 has also made it easier to choose the right role center for you and your team. So as we know, the role center is the homepage within Business Central, and it's a landing page, and it's designed for the needs of that specific role within your organization. Depending on your role, the role center gives you an overview of the business, your department, or your personal tasks. So with this release, Microsoft has made it easier to view the list of available roles to be clear on what that specific role or task is that you perform. Now, the next new feature here is a nice confirmation or a check for users. This is a new feature will notify users of high-risk changes in selected setup fields. So changes to high-risk settings in Business Central can be tracked using the changelog functionality. However, we sometimes have found that just tracking the changes is not enough. You want to actually be notified of the change for a specific field containing high risk or business critical data, such as bank account numbers, company names, or addresses, that type of thing. You can now define a list of fields that contain these high risk or business critical data that you want to be notified when they're changed. So that's a nice feature that's now in place. All right. One of the nice features with Business Central in the cloud is that it can be accessible anywhere on any device. So Microsoft is also focusing on some mobile updates. With the latest release, Microsoft has made it easy to access production or sandbox environments on the mobile app. So users now on their mobile device, they can now choose between their sandbox, production environment without having a predefined URL for the two. So nice option there that they've enhanced with the mobile platform. All right, next up are just a handful of enhancements. These are bonus enhancements. They don't really have a visual image, but I just wanted to talk through with you because I do think they're helpful to the end user. First up, the use of recurring journals to allocate balances by dimensions. So we understand that allocating costs across these different dimensions that you use to track your business is key to getting the correct insight on business profitability. So now in recurring journals, you can now specify the dimension filters on the source GL accounts from which you want to allocate those costs. So that's a nice new enhancement. Secondly, Microsoft has done a lot to work here to help enhance email capabilities. This feature provides some email capabilities that are reliable and easy to set up. So email remains by far and away the most common way of business solutions to communicate with their customer and other businesses. So over the years, the technology stack beneath email has evolved. So as have the expectations. Now, to meet this, Microsoft intended to lift the email capabilities to the next level by embracing the capabilities and security of the modern email that the modern email providers offer. So Microsoft does now enable entirely new scenarios such as adding support for multiple accounts, distribution groups, improved attachment management. Microsoft also looks to take the experience even further by adding support for workflows and preview of capabilities, which will unlock new and exciting opportunities for your businesses to communicate with the outside business world. Now, another nice enhancement here is around bank reconciliation improvement. Microsoft has continued to improve the user experience and feature set for bank reconciliation and the payment reconciliation, and trying to make it easier for new users to get started, as well as making experienced users more efficient in their tasks. So to do that, the bank account reconciliation page has included a new feature to cancel a posted bank reconciliation so that users can now recover from their mistakes, as well as the bank reconciliation will automate the reconciliation of differences. Finally, within the payment reconciliation journal, you're now able to support the application against employee ledger entries. So you can allow one-to-many matching, you can have preview posting enabled, separate number series, and user-defined document numbers. So these new guides, there's also some new guides out that will assist users on setting up some of these new company and new bank account features, which is really nice. And then finally, one really nice new feature is around the management of historical data migration from Dynamics GP to what's called the Azure Data Lake. A customer can now move their historical Dynamics GP data into this Azure Data Lake during the migration process. This will give the customer the option to no longer have to maintain their own system in-house, but to still have access to their data for reporting, tax, auditing standpoints. And the customer can even do reporting out of that, of their data out of the Azure Data Lake, which is a really nice solution. So again, happy to talk about any of these with you as we need to. So here is where I mentioned just a few of the resources here for you to review going forward. If you want to read about the other 60 plus enhancements and changes that I didn't mention, we have the link here for the release plan, or if you have ideas of changes that you would like to see in future releases, there's an ideas site, aka.ms/BC ideas. You can vote on ideas, vote on suggestions. You can post things out there to get those types of things brought to your attention, or brought to Microsoft's attention. All right, so I know I covered a lot of ground really quickly, hitting on some of these new features and capabilities. I would certainly encourage you, please talk to your TrinSoft contact, your TrinSoft account liaison or technical contact, and we will be happy to go over these changes in more detail with you. If you'd like, again, a copy of this presentation or of these slides, send me a quick email, drop me a line here, and we'll certainly get that information sent your way. Again, if you have a question, feel free to use the Q&A and we will get that sent to you as well. So I'll give it just another minute here. If there's any questions on the Q&A, please feel free to send those our way. We'll be happy to try and answer those. Again, if you would like a copy of the presentation, we'll be happy to get that sent to you as well. There's a question here. See, is the Azure Data Lake option available if you have already migrated from GP to BC? That is a great question. I am not sure, but I will find out the answer. So I will research that to let you know for sure what that option is. I believe the answer is yes. I believe that you can still move your data into the Azure Data Lake area. So I believe that is still an option for you if you have already migrated to BC, but I will double check that to be sure, and I'll be sure to follow up with you. Let me just make a quick note here. Anything else? Any other questions that maybe we've hit on or brought up that you have questions about? Again, please feel free, use the Q&A, or feel free to reach out to your TrinSoft account liaison, technical representative. We'll be happy to get you an answer on that. All right, well, I don't see any other questions coming in. With that, we'll go ahead and just wrap up this webinar. We certainly thank you guys for attending. As I mentioned, if you want a copy of these presentation slides, or if you'd like more information, feel free to send me a quick email, give me a call. Be happy to go over that with you. Thanks again for your time, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.